This is unreal.
The weather, an uncontrollable force, giving us life and taking it away. As our planet heats up, the weather is getting more extreme.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
More terrifying.
Avalanche!
And even more catastrophic.
If you're the praying type, please just pray for us, because this is really scary.
With incredible self-shot footage.
I thought Titanic came into my head.
From the front line of fear.
The biggest challenge we have is going against Mother Nature.
It's an extremely challenging environment.
We witness firsthand.
What I was feeling was burning from inside out.
The wrath of Mother Nature.
I was saying everything's going to be okay, even though in my head I knew that was a lie.
I'm getting out of here.
It's like your brain doesn't understand what you're seeing.
From twisted tales of terror.
I don't want to die in my store.
Death was right around the corner.
Earth-shattering natural disasters.
It's an earthquake.
You're dicing with danger. If you're in their way, you die.
And stories of sheer destruction.
Oh my God!
It's all gone.
It looks like World War II.
We meet the people who've stared death in the face.
We're not going to get out of this alive.
And survived the full force of the world's deadliest weather.
Really kicking our ass.
Coming up in this episode, tracking the trail of a terrifying tornado.
This is what I've been waiting my entire life to see.
As the twister traps teachers and pupils at a school in Henryville, Indiana.
All I could do was just pray to God that he would not let anything come through that roof.
Wildfires rip across the moors in the north of England.
It was just like the apocalypse. It was horrible. It was just catastrophic, really.
And in Argentina, a trek nearly ends in tragedy for a group of horrified hikers.
5:47 a.m. and looking forward to a sweet day of storm chasing.
On March 2nd, 2012, a powerful storm system begins developing over Midwest America. Tracking it is storm chaser Steve LaBelle.
Hopefully I can live out a lifelong dream of actually seeing one of these suckers.
I had been storm chasing for a couple of years at this point, and I had not witnessed an actual tornado. When you start doing this for years, you start chomping at the bit to kind of actually witness a real-life tornado. I had no idea what was in store for me that day, but something in my gut told me that this was kind of meant to happen.
Directly in the path of the storm is the small town of Henryville, Indiana, on the outskirts of America's infamous Tornado Alley. The town is home to Henryville School and mathematics teacher Jeff Arell.
We had approximately 350 students in the middle school, another 300 students, and about that many in the elementary school. We have several tornadoes. We're kind of in Tornado Alley. We've had them ever since I've been growing up as a little kid. It's something I don't want to say you're used to, but it's something we expect.
Henryville School Principal Troy Albert is monitoring the storm system's progress.
Outside on the morning of March 2nd, 2012, the weather was calm, sunny, and warm. The temperatures went up into the upper 70s, but we knew that later in the day the clouds started to come in and the storm started to roll through.
And we got our first storms brewing.
I started driving towards the Indiana area, and the National Weather Service put out a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, and those are extremely rare.
Look at all those beautiful colors on that screen.
Student Jonathan Driver is at home in Clark State Forest when the tornado sirens go off.
Oh my goodness.
I've lived in Indiana all of my life, so when I hear tornado sirens, I immediately know that there is some kind of threat nearby. It was undeniably a tornado rumbling in the distance, and it was the makes your hair stand up on your arms kind of sound. As the tornado got closer, we could actually hear the rumble, that airplane jet or train rumble sound. So we thought it was likely the tornado was going to hit us.
This is the closest I've ever been to one.
Back at Henryville School, teacher Jeff and principal Troy are preparing for the worst.
About 2:30 in the afternoon, we had a call come in saying that we were in the direct line. And so the decision that was made was to make sure that we evacuated our building and got the students in their buses more than a half mile away. Within 5 minutes, the entire school had left the building.
But the last bus to leave doesn't get far and has to do an emergency U-turn.
The driver indicated they saw the funnel cloud coming towards us, and so she made a choice to come back to the school with her 11 students that were on the bus.
The people across the street were yelling, and we're like, what are they yelling at? And they're like, get back inside, the tornado's right, and they could see it, we couldn't see it. They could see it coming over the hill. I hollered at my principal, hey, Mr. Albert, the tornado's here, it's getting ready to hit.
Just outside Henryville, storm chaser Steve's dream is about to come true.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
This is what I've been waiting my entire life to see. It was absolutely perfect in my mind as far as how it looked. And I was speechless.
Look at the size of that sucker.
But I didn't feel safe. It looked like it was about 2 miles away. And considering it was traveling at 60 miles an hour, it could have been sitting in my lap in under 2 or 3 minutes.
The tornado is now dangerously close to hammering Henryville and its school. For the teachers and students, all they can do is wait and pray.
You could really sense the barometric pressure had dropped, like in your ears, like if you were flying in a plane and dropping down.
I took off out the back door out of the office, ran down the hallways kind of looking for people, and that's when I got stuck in between a corridor between 2 main hallways. I noticed that papers on the wall were moving. And at that point I knew I was stuck right there. My ears felt like they were going to pop because the pressure became so great. I put my fingers in my ears and I go to the floor because I'm trying to cover up. There's nowhere I can go. There's no doors open. There's no rooms. I'm stuck right there. All I could do was just pray to God that He would not let anything come through that roof.
Later, we'll see how helpless Henryville becomes as the terrifying twister tears up the town.
Oh my, look at the size.
And in its wake, leaves mass destruction.
It looks like World War II.
June 2018. Britain is in the midst of an historic heatwave. Temperatures in excess of 33 degrees centigrade are making this the hottest June on record for 40 years. But on the 24th of June, on Saddleworth Moor, Greater Manchester, the persistently hot weather spawns the deadliest wildfire in British living memory. Dave Swallow is the lead wildfire officer for Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service.
The fire on Saddleworth Moor started on a Sunday evening.
Initially, for me, it seemed like any other kind of fire. We're going to do the best we can to put it out. However, because conditions have been dry, we'd probably seen about 8 or 9 weeks of relatively dry weather. It was quickly reigniting.
The conditions are perfect for a wildfire to thrive, so drastic action is required to contain the blaze.
Quite impressive flames now.
We quickly requested additional resources, probably 25 to 30 firefighters there within a couple of hours. Fires that are burning from 1 foot to 2 foot to sometimes 7, 8, 10 foot in height. You know, they radiate a lot of heat. It's like standing in front of a bonfire.
Claire Crowther's family farm borders the moors.
The fire brigade called us and said it's getting out of control, the wind keeps on changing, the fire's raging in so many different directions, we really need to help get all the livestock off the moor.
Hundreds of their grazing sheep are now directly in the line of fire, so Claire puts out an SOS.
All our local farmers, they dropped everything. And said, right, we need to get a group of dogs together, quad bikes. They came straight over here and we just got a little plan together and said, if you go on this side, you go on that side. So basically we were making as much noise as we could to try and let the sheep know that we were there. Shouting, using sheep dog whistles, using the dogs for barking. And just try and get them off as fast as we could and safely. The sheep had never dealt with fire before. They were young sheep, they were only a year old. They panicked and they were just running back into the smoke. They was disorientated, they didn't know which way to run. All we could hear whilst we were up there was the heather crackling. There was no birds singing and it was just acrid smoke. And we were standing on ground and it was just giving way underneath you because it was just burning. It was just like standing on hot coal. It was horrible and you're just trying to keep together as a team. But everyone was terrified, really.
But all that can be done is damage limitation, because wildfires are notoriously difficult to control. In Los Angeles, a wildfire is raging near a popular tourist attraction. Over 3 acres of land are ablaze. Rescue services are trying to contain the fire by dumping water from a helicopter. Incredibly, the rescue effort manages to get the flames under control before they engulf the spectators. But firefighters in Queensland, Australia, are battling a wildfire that has escaped its containment lines. High winds are making the job increasingly difficult.
Step back, move back. When the wind turns like that.
Even with state-of-the-art equipment and high-pressure hoses, the fire is proving tricky to tame.
I'm worried about that. Grab the other second hose and hit that near the tree.
And the firefighters are struggling to stop the flames engulfing their truck. Eventually, they manage to get the situation under control. But sometimes, the only thing you can do is run.
Oh my God, look at that.
In Southern California, this man is checking on a friend's house. But a serious wildfire has triggered evacuation orders for at least 150,000 people.
I'm getting out of here.
After seeing his friend's home consumed by a spiraling vortex of fire.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Everyone needs to back away from the area. Back away from the area towards Loma Vista.
He takes the evacuation orders a lot more seriously. Back in the north of England, wildfires are still raging after 2 days. advancing dangerously close to residential areas. 150 people are forced to evacuate as toxic smoke surrounds their homes.
The smoke would drop into the valley and fill in the valleys around Carbrook and Staler Bridge with smoke, making conditions difficult for the residents.
You can hear it burning.
Especially those with breathing conditions.
On the moors, the lack of rainfall and the hot weather are hindering the firefighting efforts, so Dave calls for further backup.
We had a multitude of agencies that assisted us. We had a number of other fire and rescue services from across the country who came to support us with specialist equipment as well as providing firefighters just so we had the manpower.
100 soldiers are also called to assist, along with 2 helicopters that drop 65,000 gallons of water onto areas that the firefighters can't reach.
The stronger the winds are, the more the flames are fanned, making the fire more intense and more difficult to extinguish.
It was just like a desert. It was just black, charred, smoking. There was dust everywhere, just loads and loads of smoke everywhere. It was just like the apocalypse. It was horrible. You couldn't see anything but smoke and fire. It was just catastrophic, really.
It takes 3 weeks to extinguish the flames, and by then, the fire had burnt 7 square miles.
Everything on the moor has been completely wiped out. It's just soul-destroying. We lost 90 sheep that we know of. They burnt in the fire. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and going back weeks after and just still finding sheep carcasses everywhere that had been burnt, and you think, why have them sheep had to burn to death? But I'd never want to see it again.
Fortunately, some sheep managed to escape, later turning up in people's gardens miles away. But the fear is, it won't be the last time the moors are under threat.
A lot of the communities around Saddleworth and Tameside now have kind of a newfound respect for how damaging the wildfires can be. It's not something that's going away. It definitely seems to be part of the climate change that we're going through as a country.
It's going to happen again this summer if we have a dry summer. And hopefully this time we can tackle it before it spreads into such a massive devastation like that fire was. I never thought that anything of this scale would happen. It was just immeasurable. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Still to come. A tornado half a mile wide wipes out a school in Henryville, Indiana.
It was like a locomotive running through.
And in Africa, a man is on a mission to descend into one of the deadliest volcanoes on Earth.
It's tremendous power. It's one of the Earth's most awesome forces.
Aconcagua, in the heart of the Andes, rising nearly 23,000 feet above sea level. It's the highest mountain in the southern hemisphere, and it offers picturesque trekking trails popular with hikers. Among them is Nico Hirnard from Argentina.
Yo estaba haciendo este trekking con mi pareja, con el hermano de mi pareja, con mi cuñado y con unos amigos. Era una caminata tranquila, al aire libre, abajo del sol. Nos veníamos divirtiendo muchísimo hasta ese momento, caminando.
Leading the trek is experienced mountain guide Julian Inzaralde.
Es un trekking inicial donde las personas se recrean por 3 días. Para este tipo de trekking, el único riesgo que nosotros como guías por ahí tenemos que contemplar es solamente la sintomatología de altura.
But unbeknownst to the group, recent unseasonable weather means there is another, far more deadly risk.
Era un día de diciembre, un día perfecto de sol, increíble. Solamente había caído un poco de nieve algunas semanas antes, así que las montañas en altura, a 4.000, 5.000 metros, estaban algo cargadas de nieve, que eso es poco, es inusual, pero bueno, puede ocurrir.
Melting snow can loosen the surface of a mountain, sending hundreds of tons of rock and debris plummeting toward the hikers below. It starts with a small stream of mud.
Yo fui uno de los primeros en cruzar el arroyo, un arroyo que cruzaba un poquito de agua nomás y tenía mucho barro en el fondo.
De repente yo empiezo a escuchar un sonido como si fuese un helicóptero, un avión. Cuando escucho el sonido, se empieza a escuchar el sonido, me doy cuenta que algo andaba mal, algo estaba cambiando. Entonces miro hacia arriba, hacia abajo, hacia atrás. No era, miro para abajo a ver si el río crecía, no era, me doy vuelta una vez, dos veces, a la tercera vez que me doy vuelta, me doy cuenta que venía algo por el río, algo grande.
Landslides can be lethal, causing up to an estimated 50 fatalities per year in the US alone, and even more in developing countries. In Baguyas, in the Philippines, a bus full of passengers has been forced to a halt by falling rocks. This steep mountain is prone to landslides, and the spectator stopping to take photos is directly in the line of fire. As he desperately runs for cover, a terrifying mass of rocks, mud and trees gives way. And now the bus is under threat too. As rocks pummel the bus, the driver acts fast and reverses away from danger. Thankfully, no one was hurt. In the region of Shimla, India, heavy rainfall has caused this mountain to crumble, right next to a construction site. As it gathers momentum with alarming haste, the workers below can't see how deadly it is becoming. The rain-soaked hillside succumbs, and it drags down the entire Shimla-Tutakandi bypass crossing with it. Incredibly, no one was injured. Whereas landslides are falls of loose rock and debris, mudslides are water-saturated soil that can travel at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. Heavy rain in North India has caused this truck to become stuck in the mud. Fortunately, the driver has already made an escape, and the digger is bravely battling the strengthening sludge to no avail. As the torrent of mud engulfs the truck, it's game over as it gets swept away. The residents of this pretty alpine village in Chamousson, Switzerland, can hear a sinister rumble coming from above. Caused by very intense localized rainfall, the muddy surface runoff starts streaming down the mountain. The shocked residents scramble out of the way as the damaging deluge gathers strength and takes down everything in its path. So when you see the earth moving, get out of there fast. But back in Argentina, the hikers are still halfway across a muddy stream when they see a torrent of rocks and debris hurtling towards them.
Fue una sensación muy fea porque yo veía que las personas que estaban adentro no iban a llegar a salir.
En ese momento uno actúa como creo que sale algo de adentro, algo interior que ayuda a tomar buenas decisiones. saltamos hacia la izquierda para las únicas dos personas que estaban todavía bajando, que no entendían por qué nos habíamos lanzado arriba de ellas. A los 2 segundos de haber salido del cauce del río, vemos que viene una tromba de piedra, barro y todo, que hacía temblar la tierra. Era impresionante, nunca lo habíamos visto.
Y arrasaron en un segundo con todo lo que había en el arroyo, y es una sensación tremenda porque sentí que en un momento era una luz, un terremoto y algo que se nos venía todos juntos.
No, si no hubiésemos quedado en el río cuando caía, bueno, éramos 4 que obviamente no hubiésemos sobrevivido para nada.
O sea, lo primero que hicimos cuando terminamos de cruzar y que estábamos todos bien, todos a salvo, fue saludarnos entre todos, darnos un abrazo y por supuesto ir a ver al guía. Y recuerdo con uno de los guías que nos miramos y dijimos, nos salvamos.
Después, obviamente, cuando vimos que la situación estaba controlada, se me salía el corazón del pecho.
Lo que nos había pasado, podríamos haber muerto. La naturaleza es algo que realmente no controlamos.
Creo que la enseñanza de esto es que cuando uno va a la montaña hay que empezar a respetarla desde el primer segundo de caminata, desde el primer lugar, ya que realmente nos damos cuenta que puede pasar en cualquier cosa, en cualquier lado.
Earlier, we saw Henryville take cover from one of the strongest tornadoes to ever hit the state of Indiana.
Look at the size of that sucker.
At the school, mathematics teacher Jeff Harrell is trapped in the corridor as the twister takes hold.
The pressure in my ears it hurt so bad I felt like my eardrums were gonna pop. And it just gave me an instant headache. And I've never had that feeling before. You know, you lose electricity, you lose everything, it goes dark. I could hear big air conditioning units and stuff being tossed on top of the roof, and I could hear it rolling. I just thought, man, anytime something's gonna come through this roof. Feels like an eternity when you're in it, but I think it was just a matter of seconds that the tornado came by.
Principal Troy Albert is sheltering in a classroom with the 11 pupils who, just moments before, had been evacuated from the school bus.
This bus driver is a hero. Good thing she came back because her bus ended up across the street in a restaurant.
Henryville School is now taking a direct hit from the monster EF4 tornado.
It was like a locomotive running through. When you started to hear the roof collapse, I think that was probably the greatest noise that we had.
Winds of up to 175 miles per hour ripped the roof off the school gym with terrifying ease.
The power to take steel girders and just rip them off like they're paper, the force is unbelievable. It's amazing what it can do in a matter of seconds.
Storm chaser Steve LaBelle is on the tornado's tail, in awe of the sheer power of the storm.
And shaking, unreal.
This was a significant damaging tornado. 175 mile an hour winds with a half-mile width, if you can even imagine that. And it was traveling about 60 miles an hour on average. So basically a mile per minute. It is just tearing up things potentially a half mile wide.
Look at the size.
It was truly an amazing sight.
I've been waiting my whole life to see this.
But it was almost like an arm wrestling match of elation about seeing a tornado wrapped around the sorrow and the tragedy of what was unfolding for a lot of different people.
As the tornado passes, Henryville residents are flocking to the streets to assess the damage. Among them is student Jonathan Driver and his father.
We headed south towards where we heard it, and we basically were just looking for the damage, looking to see where people would need help. We could see cars stopped on the highway, semi laid over. Then we saw the gas station tore apart.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at the house. There was a farmhouse there.
It was just a shocking moment. You know, a once familiar sight that we were used to for years was just was torn apart.
But things are about to get worse for the people of Henryville.
My dad received a call that that there was a second tornado coming, which we had no idea. We thought it was past. So as soon as we got that call, we turned around on the road and tried to head back home so that we could find cover.
Back at the school, and as the second tornado gathers intensity, it brings with it golf ball-sized hail. Just as Jeff thinks the nightmare is over, he hears a familiar sound.
I heard the second one, the roar coming, and I told the guy I was with, I said, look, here comes another tornado. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure, let's go.
Just 15 minutes after the first attack, the school takes another brutal battering from the second tornado. Across town, Jonathan and his father are caught in the crossfire of the hail that precedes the second tornado.
You could hear it denting the roof of the car. You could see it bouncing off the hood and leaving massive dents. Cracking and shattering the tempered glass.
Hey, that's with my phone. Cover your face.
I didn't know if the vehicle would be, you know, taken up by a tornado and thrown to the side. That was a frightening moment. But I remember thinking I didn't know how my dad was driving because the windshield became so shattered.
Also facing the wrath of the second tornado is storm chaser Steve LaBelle.
Major hailstorm now. Wow. Huge.
Visibility was absolutely zero. I was surrounded by woods. So if another tornado did come through, I had no way of getting away from it. There's just nowhere to go at that point. You are at the mercy. And that's kind of a risk you take when you go out and you chase storms. You just sit there and wait for it to end one way or another. Yeah, scary stuff.
As the half-mile-wide tornado ends its assault on Henryville, Troy and Jeff are able to see the true extent of the damage to their school.
Approximately 60% of the Henryville campus was destroyed by the tornado. We had lost both gyms, damage to the roofs, about 20 classrooms that was totally destroyed. Our cafeteria was destroyed, our library.
Tore a path right through here. Oh my God, look at all this damage.
It's kind of unimaginable. Houses wiped from their foundations, factories leveled. It looks like an atomic bomb basically cleared it.
The tornado decimated a 49-mile-wide area in just 49 minutes. It destroyed more than 200 homes and damaged almost 3,000.
It ripped apart buildings and the landscape. It also ripped apart people's lives.
It looks like World War II.
The tornadoes in Indiana claimed 13 lives, making Troy and Jeff all too aware of their dangerously close encounter.
We were one wall away from being totally engulfed in the debris field. which I'd say we were blessed and lucky. It is a miracle that everybody walked out of there alive.
That's when I realized how close to death I was that day. And how special my family was. So, I'm thankful to be through it.
Remembering the sound of it and the sight of the damage gave me a new level of fear and respect for tornadoes.
I've been waiting my whole life to see this.
As exciting as it was equally saddening and difficult to comprehend the destruction.
The power of Mother Nature is unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
Some people see extreme weather conditions not as a crisis, but an opportunity. Braving the elements despite the risks. In Slovenia, freezing temperatures have turned this waterfall into a climbing wall. Scaling the slippery surface requires great skill and determination, not to mention an ice-cool temperament. Our Iceman is planning each step with extreme caution, testing the integrity of the ice before making his move. With a bit of luck, he will make it to the top before the ice melts. Also braving the elements are these crazies in Croatia. They're attempting to measure the magnitude of the wind as the bluffs batter the bridge and everyone on it. But rather than run for cover, the thrill-seeking threesome are looking Mother Nature in the eye and standing their ground. Just. In Sicily, a group of adventurers are taking their lives in their hands by camping on top of the highest active volcano in Europe, Mount Etna. A volcanic eruption is one way to get a wake-up call. But the gang soon decide they're a little too close for comfort and leg it. But not everyone is quite as cautious. This foolhardy photographer is filming a violent volcano on Vanuatu, an island in the South Pacific. When a gargantuan gas bubble bursts from the lava lake, it lands molten rock mere inches from our filmmaker's feet, sending him hot-footing it out of there, fast.
That was probably my closest call ever to being completely covered in lava bombs. There's not one shot that's worth that. So I'm going to back off and get some more protective gear on.
The movie might not have been made, but a very valuable volcano lesson was learned. There's no denying that volcanoes are explosive, unpredictable, and deadly. But for one man, that's the big appeal.
My name's Jeff Mackley and I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. I'm a volcano hunter. For the last 25 years I've been chasing volcanic eruptions around the world and filming them from as close as I can possibly get without being killed. I've always been passionate about volcanoes ever since I was a kid. I think it's something about the unbridled power of a volcano. Volcanoes do what they want, when they want. To be up close to a big eruption, you get some idea of how insignificant not only you are, but the whole human race. It's just something that draws me to volcanoes like a moth to the flame.
The latest flame to draw Jeff near is the mighty Mount Nyiragongo in the Democratic Republic of Congo, home to one of the largest lava lakes in the world.
Nyiragongo is probably the most dangerous volcano in the world. You've got an 800-foot in diameter lava lake, the biggest one in the world. So the danger with Nyiragongo is the catastrophic leaking out of the contents of the lava lake that can flow down the mountainside at 40 miles an hour.
And this catastrophe struck in 2002, when a devastating lava flow hit the nearby city of Goma, killing almost 250 people and leaving 120,000 homeless.
You're dicing with danger with volcanoes. Only they know when they're going to blow. They'll do their thing when they do their thing. If you're in their way, you die.
But rather than get out of the way, Jeff wants to put himself directly in the line of fire by abseiling straight into the belly of the beast.
It's always challenging and dangerous to reach anything volcanic. Getting to the lava lakes, you have to climb an 11,300-foot volcano and then descend 1,200 foot inside it. A hell of a thing. It's like Mount Everest in reverse.
And deadly lava flows are not the only danger Jeff faces.
The trip up Noiragongo is exciting. It's a dangerous place. There are bandits from time to time who see foreigners as an ATM on two legs. So we go in a convoy with hired security forces. You're in for a brutal 11,000-foot climb to the top, which takes you through thick jungle. And then when you're finally up 10 or 11,000 feet, you're just in grass and rock, and it's freezing cold. So it's a hell of a place to work. The descent to the lava lake involves firstly drilling huge bolts into the rock at the top of the cliff. There we connect our ropes. And we go down a number of terraces, so it's like a ladder. You'll go down 600 feet, then you'll connect more bolts. Then you'll go down more, then across and down more. You've got 4 levels of descent to get to the lava lake, and it's pretty hardcore.
Listen to that. Rest for a second.
Your biggest fear is rocks could fall on your head and kill you. Pulling a rock down on top of yourself from the rope above you or a person above you doing it. And you can, of course, get a lot of earthquakes. You'll always get earthquakes around volcanoes. And earthquakes, falling rocks and people hanging on ropes, you know, with 1,200 feet of void below them is a recipe for, you know, danger.
I'm down.
When I reach the bottom of Noiragongo, basically in front of you is a massive 800-foot lava lake. It's just several football fields in size. It's very hot, it's very noisy. The temperature of lava is roughly 1,050 degrees Celsius, and that's roughly 500% hotter than your oven at home when you cook your weekend roast. So we're talking serious heat.
Such serious heat calls for some serious gear.
The fire suit that I wear when I'm near the lava allows you to get in close proximity. What that aluminized foil does, it's very similar to what astronauts wear. It reflects harmful things, like extreme heat. It will reflect that heat away from you. Without that, you could only withstand that heat for seconds, 4 seconds at the most, before you start burning. When you do get close to the lava, it's a pretty unpleasant beast. The gases coming off the lava are superheated. You have to keep your gas mask on at all time. If you breathed in any of that superheated gas, it would kill you instantly. Standing that close to a giant lake of boiling lava, it's the biggest adrenaline rush you'll ever get. That's legal. You're awestruck with the tremendous power that's before you. To boil molten rock and throw it through the air like porridge is tremendous power. It's one of the Earth's most awesome forces. You cannot get enough of it. Lava lakes are the most addictive thing on the planet. Once you've been up close to one, nothing you ever do in your life again will come close to that experience.
Extreme weather affects everyone, even our animal friends. At this zoo in the Netherlands, the heavens have opened, causing a tussle between two male baboons for the best place to take shelter. A chase ensues, because in the animal kingdom, there can only be one winner. And the coveted dry haven also happens to be amongst the females. After a couple of rounds of the ring, the victor claims the coveted spot, leaving the loser to sulk with the others. On a blisteringly hot day in Wales in the UK, these sheep are politely waiting their turn for an ice-cold refreshment. Eventually, the truck's kindly vendor takes pity on the persistent sheep and rewards their patience with a refreshing treat. In Adelaide, in southern Australia, this man has got a cheeky intruder in his air-conditioned car, seeking sanctuary from the sweltering heat.
I'm going to try to get the little guy out of my car, but he just does not want to come out. Come on, mate. Can I get you to come out of my car, please?
The koala appears to be going nowhere, and as he retreats further inside, the man tries the tactile approach.
Oh, you're gorgeous. It's okay, I'm not trying to hurt you. Don't.
But that backfires too.
That way. No, not up the front. Come on, hop out the car. I know it's nice and cool in here with the aircon. No, don't go up the front. Oh, man.
The brazen koala moves even closer to the cool air vent.
No, don't climb up there. Mate, what are you doing?
And digs his claws in to show he plans to stay put.
Oh, man, you're strong. Come on, buddy. You're tearing up my dash. Go.
Eventually, the man prizes him free.
How many times has that ever happened to you?
And the cheeky chap retires back to his usual habitat.
That's where you're supposed to be, up in the tree. Good on you, mate. Thanks for all the damage to my car.
In this episode, we've faced the wrath of Mother Nature. We've seen how helpless we can be.
Oh my God.
We've seen her tear down, destroy, and laugh in our faces. And next time there will be more, because deadly weather stops for no one.